Washington and Wall Street, or Washington and big business, are perhaps more interconnected now than since the 1930s, and they're also more at odds now. I mean, watching the hearings on Tuesday, Goldman Sachs executives in Washington, and you saw the animosity between lawmakers and those executives, and the real question when it comes to that is, how does the system need to change, and are we going about it the right way?
I mean, first of all, let's be clear. When people break the rules or break the laws, they should be punished. No issue whatsoever. But frankly, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be an American businessman. I deal with people every day that are innovative, that do great things, and that believe in this country. And this demonizing and criticizing ourselves, look, our financial services industry is essential to the U.S. economy. Now, if we need to change the rules, Warren's been arguing. I actually read a letter the other day from 1982 when he sent a letter to Congress saying derivatives are going to be a problem. 2001, he said if they're not properly regulated, you don't have proper transparency, you're going to have weapons of financial mass destruction.
Sure.
We still haven't done anything. So we need to solve problems and be prospective about doing that. But demonizing everybody is not a good idea.
And you've also said when business misbehaves, lawmakers, regulators, they overreact. Are we seeing an overreaction right now? Because the Senate is debating regulatory reform, and whatever happens, whatever makes it to the president's desk will change our business landscape for the long term.
That's right, but there needs to be a reaction to the bad behavior, and that's fine. And I think government was never intended to be a scalpel. Our founding fathers were genius at providing forums for disagreement and for discussion. I think it's unfortunate today that you're told you're not supposed to have a disagreement. You're not supposed to argue to get the best answer. That government's going to tell you what the best answer is. That's not what our founding fathers laid out. They didn't say that industry's right. They didn't say that investment bankers were right. But they also didn't say that politicians are right. They said, let's have a representative government. It's we the people, and let's argue this out. And they made a government structure that is inherently cumbersome, so that it's not easy to jam things through.
Yeah, are you worried about overreaction? Because I want to focus on derivatives. This obviously has been the headline. Berkshire Hathaway has been in the news here. And let's set the record straight. I mean, what it seems is though Berkshire Hathaway does not want the need to post collateral on existing contracts, on existing derivatives contracts. And you argue it comes down to the Fifth Amendment, to the sanctity of contracts.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it is not about getting something for Berkshire. I mean, you have to keep in mind there's $670 trillion of derivatives in the economy. Those are contracts that people like you and I entered into at arm's length with just like your home mortgage. The United States government didn't solve the mortgage problem by passing a law that said, you know what, everybody that's got a mortgage, write a check to your bank and pay down 20% of it. Why? Because you have a contract with your bank and you're making your payments. Nobody can step in and force you to pay 20% more to the bank. Well, the same thing needs to be dealt with derivatives. Pass the rules prospectively. We've not commented on whatever government believes is the best solution to solve this going forward, we'll comply with. But sanctity of contract has to be fundamental. And we're not saying that because Berkshire might have to post some collateral. It is absolutely an underpinning of our economy.
How much collateral? I mean, if it does become retroactive, what would that mean for
Somewhere
Berkshire?
between $5 and $8 billion, which is not a problem for Berkshire. But it was specifically negotiated in our contracts with people not to do that. So you would be giving the other side a benefit they're not entitled to.
Looking at Goldman Sachs, SEC fraud charges against Goldman Sachs, Warren, Berkshire investing $5 billion in the company, telling us this morning he still believes in Goldman Sachs. He's behind the company, behind the leadership. Do you think, David, that Goldman Sachs committed fraud, or do you think that this is a witch hunt on Wall Street?
Well, I think the reality is I don't know. I don't have access to any of that information. Warren has that relationship and would have facts that I don't have. Again, I think if people broke the rules, they should be punished for it appropriately, pursuant to the rules. And I know Warren agrees with that completely. And I'm not here to defend Wall Street, but demonizing our system, demonizing success, demonizing proper American industry. I just don't get it. America was built on the free enterprise system that anybody in this country has the opportunity to do things. When we screw up, punish it appropriately, make an example of it, and move on. But But let's deal with facts. I don't think it's appropriate to be prosecuting people in the press. I think we should do it in our court system. We should do it appropriately with due process. And again, if they broke the law, people should be punished for it, no question.
And cap and trade coming to the surface once again. Your thoughts on that? You say we need to get something through Congress. You don't necessarily need to push it all through right now.
Well, let me call it carbon restraint, climate change legislation, because I think the term cap and trade has been used as though it's the only answer. If climate change legislation is important, and if the best scientists in the world think we need to deal with carbon constraints, we need to do it thoughtfully and carefully. We're not opposed to it at all.